Let's turn now to the rural vote in Ohio. 62% of rural Americans voted for Trump 4 years ago, according to exit polls conducted by the New York Times. Ohio's farmland was Trump land in 2016. And while things may be different in 2020, it's clear Trump's 8-point victory came from winning 80 counties in Ohio, including Clinton County, where Roger Weinmiller and his cousin have a 3,400-acre grain farm. Like 74% of voters in Clinton County, Weinmiller voted for Trump in 2016, though he admits he wasn't a fan but liked his business background.
And I have always thought and felt for many years that this country needs to be run as a business, not on politics. And through his 4 years in office, I have gained a whole lot of respect for him. I'm very happy with all the things that he stands for and that he has done for this country.
When he's not farming, Roger dotes on his 8 goats. His story is well known here. He lost a daughter and son to opioid overdoses in 2016. His surviving son is in recovery, and Roger spends time speaking to and working with those struggling with addiction. And lately, Roger's also been participating in Trump parades, featuring fans driving trucks, cars, and semis decked out with flags, banners, and other memorabilia on freeways and country roads. Jeff Magar runs a 3,000-acre farm with his daughter in Ashtabula County, also growing soybeans and corn. He has a few cows and hogs as well. He said Trump's late 2016 visit to his county, which Trump won by nearly 19 points, meant something to people who felt their voices and values weren't being heard.
In the rural community, for the last 10, 15 years, we felt our voices weren't being heard. Trump came to Ashtabula County 4 years ago. It's a little, a president hasn't ever been in this county, that type of thing. And with the farmers, 99% of the farmers I talk to feel that he has our back and hears our voice.
Across the state, Chris Gibbs farms 560 acres in Shelby and Logan counties, growing corn, soybeans, and alfalfa. He and his son also manage a small cattle farm. Gibbs didn't just vote for Trump in 2016, he was the Shelby County Republican Party chair. He had some concerns about Trump, but in 2018, when Trump imposed tariffs on steel and aluminum from most countries and launched a trade war with China, that was it for Gibbs.
Farmers buy things made out of steel and aluminum. That's what we buy. So that hurt my bottom line. And right off the bat, then we lost in the soybean complex alone, we lost 20% of our value because we lost the China trade. So I ended up off of the Trump train at that point, and I've been speaking out against the president's trade policies and other policies ever since.
On the other side of the tariff issue is Jeff Magar, who says Trump is fighting a battle that should have been settled years ago, and Roger Weinmiller, who admits he wasn't happy with the tariffs at first.
It's not all about us. It's about the country. And unfortunately, whenever you do things, not everybody is going to break the benefits for actions that somebody does, whatever it may be. So this time it happens to be us that we have to take it on the chin with the lower prices for the trade deal, but I would much rather do that and have someone that would stand up to China than I would to have a president that is weak and caves to China and just lets them to constantly take advantage of us like they have for decades.
Tariffs are a reason Charlie Beck opposes Trump, though he didn't vote for him in 2016 either. Beck grows corn and soybeans with his father, uncle, and some cousins on 2,100 acres outside of Defiance, in a county Trump won by nearly 35 points.
If he gets reelected, there's nothing to say that he's not going to come back on with a stronger and try to strong arm with the tariffs more than what he has in the past. But no, believe me, everybody felt the tariffs, but I didn't really see the support waver. I mean, they were behind him 100%. The ones that weren't, they definitely went the other way, but they were pretty few and far between. So, tariffs are so frustrating because China isn't paying the tariffs. We're paying the tariffs. It's just, but that's not what he said. He said China's going to pay the tariffs. And that's what a lot of people believe.
Beck says he's also concerned about climate change and coronavirus. The pandemic is a big issue in rural Ohio as people worry about the future of health insurance and the economy. Beck says the wives of all his farming partners have jobs off the farm. That's the situation for Christy Luschek, a friend of Roger Weinmiller's and a fellow Trump parade participant. She and her husband are part-time farmers in Highland County, where 76% of voters picked Trump. She's an RN who works as a health insurance company case manager. Her husband runs a trucking company. Luschek says the insults and attacks on women Trump is accused of are outweighed by her support for his policies and optimism for his re-election.
You know, we all have a past. You know, when I got my job, did anybody say, oh, well, you did this in the past, so now I'm not going to hire you? I don't care. I don't care what he did. All I know is that he's been a great president, and I'm voting for him, and I'm hoping and praying that he gets in for another 4 years, and our economy will definitely be on the rise.
While support for Trump is likely to continue to be strong in rural Ohio, there are a few signs there are some votes for Biden here as well. Chris Gibbs officially left the Republican Party last year, but hasn't left politics. He briefly considered an independent run against right-wing Republican Congressman Jim Jordan this year. A few months ago, he joined in the launch of Operation Grant, which is affiliated with the national high-profile and big money-raising Lincoln Project, an effort to convince fellow frustrated Republicans to vote for Biden. And Gibbs is also on the board of Rural America 2020, working against what it calls misguided policies that have left rural Americans behind.
I'm a black sheep in the agriculture community, and that's fine. I find as a black sheep, my pasture is a whole lot less crowded that way.
Trump's rural backers talk up their support for him on social issues such as abortion. And many also say they don't trust Biden on the economy, which they fear will veer towards socialism, or on racial issues. In many rural counties in Ohio, more than 90% of the population is white.